Tortoise.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's nice.
That's very nice. Beautiful.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Howdy,
Okay,
day.
Dennis. Why don't you give us an actual intro?
Okay, welcome to the Micro Machines.
Oh, boy.
Welcome to the Micro Machines podcast, where we talk about history, scale models, and stupid humor. Today we are doing the A39 heavy assault tank, also known as the Tortoise. And Callum, this is your slide. Go.
Well, I think first we should do some introductions to the episode, shall we?
Nah.
Nah, all good.
Nah.
I made a list for
fuck it.
nothing.
They know
What's
who we
your
are.
name, Callum? Oh, okay.
So, this is the A39 heavy assault tank, the Tortoise, as mentioned by Dennis. So, this is a behemoth of a tank destroyer assault gun made by the British around the end of the Second World War. So, the general specifications of this tank I have listed. It has a length of 5.2 columbi, also known as 10 meters or 32.8 feet, a width of 2 columbi, which is 3.9 meters or 12.8 feet, a height of 1.5 columbi, which is pretty tall, and that's 3 meters exact or 9.8 foot, and a weight of 79,000 kilograms or 174,165 pounds. I will not compare that to my actual weight because I will just know.
How many cheeseburgers does that weigh?
Too many.
What's the conversion from kilograms to SWAT teams?
No, I'm not sure on that. Interestingly, though, researching this, it shows a weight of 79,000 kilograms or 79 ton.
That's a big
metric.
bitch.
Thick.
But it comes up with a tonnage of 87.1 tons. And the only thing I could think of for that is so the 79 ton is unloaded, 87 is loaded. Yeah, it was weird. It came up with this weird statistic. I was still researching into that one. Not too sure. So, shall we go to the first slide? Well, so the next slide. This is to show off the weight. In this video, you have the A39 being transported via trailer. However, it is so heavy, it requires 2 heavy hauling trucks to actually get the trailer to move.
God damn.
Jesus. What are those, 5 tons?
God.
Yeah, those are heavy hauling trucks. Now, the Tortoise was the second heaviest tank the British prototypes built, whatever. The first being the TOG 2. So although this comes in as maybe 2 ton lighter than a TOG 2, so this is the second heaviest tank they ever built.
Lovely.
Oh, god damn it.
Oh, that one was so good.
As a please tell me you're not getting people just to text you at certain times.
Okay. Next slide. So we'll first talk about the armor of this tank because it is the main feature of the Tortoise. So it has a front armor of 228 millimeters,
Holy shit.
which is also sloped.
Ooh.
Christ alive.
Callum?
Yo,
Why?
it's got this much armor because initially they thought that as the Second World War dragged on and Germany was on the defensive, the British thought they will turn back into World War I, stalemate, fortification, defense, stuff like that. So they wanted an assault tank to try and breach through fortifications. Now, they did try it on the A33 Excelsior, the T14 heavy assault tank we talked about in the first episode, both of which failed. So the whole idea of the Tortoise was primarily to just sit in front of fortifications, hammer it with a big gun while taking a lot of damage.
Cough, cough, Siegfried line.
Ooh.
Yeah, pretty much. So the front has got 228 millimeters of armor, which is sloped. The side and rear still have 178 millimeters, and the thinnest part's been the roof and the floor with only 33. But even then, it's still a ton of armor on this thing. Nothing was going to get through it.
Nope. I mean, I bet a Stuka with those cannons slung under the wings could probably take it from the top.
After a couple of
yeah.
flyovers, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big tank.
Then again,
By
though,
the
why
time
not
that
just
thing would have
coming out?
entered combat, I don't think there would have been too many of them left to dive
True.
on it.
No,
The Luftwaffe basically didn't exist at that point.
especially the Stuka.
Yeah, especially.
Yeah, fun fact about the Stuka, it got to the point where, for the British, if you shot down a Stuka, it didn't even count. To get one Stuka kill, you had to down about 5 of them,
Oh,
just because
jeez.
it's so easy.
They're like
It took
mosquitoes.
5 Stukas for 1 Spitfire.
Yeah,
It's the Stuka conversion there.
yeah. So they didn't, like, if you shot down a Stuka, they're like, nothing. It's not even a kill. Just a little bit
Worthless.
insulting, but
They're
Yeah.
just being fair.
Stuka pilots.
yeah. So the Tortoise just had a shit ton of armor because it was designed to just sit in front of fortifications and just bounce everything and anything and just push through.
You know, that is kind of weird because this has got to be one of the
Oh, yeah.
first tanks where it's been designed to survive actually being hit by armor-piercing rounds. Like, you think about, say you think of the Sherman and the Panzer, 4 and all that. Like, if they were hit at, range, a reasonable range by an armor-piercing round, the armor wasn't necessarily going to stop it. But this is the first thing I've seen, of all the tanks we've done where it's like, it's basically just designed to be unkillable.
I swear, I am not doing these on purpose. Oh my god. That was
2 for 2.
perfect.
That's our soundboard now.
Yeah.
Just my
Facts.
phone.
But yeah, so that was the specifics. So when you think about it, you got 228 on the front. The gun mantlet has got even more. I mean, you look at the size of the bolts on that thing, holding the mantlet together.
Those are huge.
Yeah,
Take
Yeah.
a tool
nice.
for that.
So
It's
yeah,
interesting. I just looked it up. This thing has like nearly twice the frontal armor of a Tiger 2.
Good.
yeah,
Good.
Holy.
Well, not twice,
yeah.
Mm,
All
Got like
you
twice the
wereabouts out
armor,
there.
and the gun is bigger.
Yeah.
We'll bring that up
Take that.
later.
Yep. So yeah, so that's the armor. Next slide. So to get 87 tons to actually move, the Tortoise used the Rolls-Royce Meteor, which is basically the Merlin converted to a tank engine. So this was
nice.
used. This was used in the later parts of the war. Stuff like the Churchill didn't have this or any of those. It was actually tested. The Rolls-Royce Meteor was first tested in Crusaders back in England, and eventually it was also installed as well as on the Tortoise. It was on the Cromwell, Challenger, Avenger, Comet, Centurion, Charioteer, Carnarvon, and the Conqueror. So clearly it's a pretty good engine. So
Absolutely.
the Rolls-Royce Meteor was a V12 configuration, had a displacement of 28.022 litres. Its fuel was petrol, and side note, the Tortoise had a fuel tank of 530 litres. Its cooling system, it used water, not oil.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nice.
seems a bit counterintuitive, a petrol engine, late war, but I guess if you got that much armour, it doesn't really matter, does it?
True.
You
Well,
know,
I have a question.
Go for it.
What kind of a car would we compare the A39 to?
It would probably be a Land Rover of some type. I forget what's the hold on. Let me look.
No, not a Land Rover. like
Nah,
a
definitely
Dodge
Land Rover.
dually.
Oh
They
yeah.
were selling too
yeah, you're
quick. Yeah,
But it's
but,
gotta
like-
be like incredibly British.
Right. Like a British truck.
Land Rover.
Non-existent.
Yeah, Land
Yeah,
Rover.
Land Rover.
Yeah,
Land
Land
Rover
Rover fits
Defender.
it pretty well.
The Land Rover Defender, the 2021 Land Rover Defender with a
Hell
brand
yeah.
new Rolls-Royce Meteor engine. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, another side note: Jay Leno has a car that's got a Rolls-Royce Merlin engine in it. The front of it is extremely long to fit it, but yeah, he's got a car that's powered by a Merlin.
Interesting.
My thing is just like, this is the same engine that could get the Cromwell moving. You think about this tank just compared to the Cromwell. The fact this engine can move the Tortoise at all is just incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
it's
thinking
funny
they would have
'cause-
to. I was thinking
Yep,
they'd
go
have
for
to shove like 2 of these in there or something.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the power outage, the power output of the Meteor was around 550 to 650 brake horsepower. It doesn't actually seem like much to get that thing moving. And it
No.
operated at 2,400 RPM.
Huh.
So, but even at around 600 horsepower, on a good road, it could achieve 19 kilometers per hour or 11.8 miles per hour on a road. But when it started getting off road, that kind of dropped to around 8 kilometers.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's it's a big boy. Although, looking up their suspension and tracks, the ground pressure of the tracks was only 12 psi.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it seems incredibly low.
Surprising.
Why?
Yeah. Pardon?
Why?
I think just because of the width of the tracks as well. The tracks are extremely wide. I think they're wider than a Tiger 2's. Yeah. So with the fuel capacity and whatnot, the range of the A39 was about 140 kilometers, or 87 miles, which I don't think is bad, is it?
Well, sure ain't a prize.
For that thing, no, not at all.
Yeah. And for transmission, it had a front sprocket with a Merit 6-speed controlled differential.
Was
So-
it a manual or an automatic?
I think it's a manual. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it seems weird. Meteor, you have it in the Cromwell and Comet, and those tanks could go. You know, they were fast, and the Centurion. But yeah, it also begs the question why they didn't put a Rolls-Royce Meteor in the Churchill.
Yeah, did they ever try that out?
Oh, probably.
Well, I did read something about the Churchill. One of the reasons it drove so slowly, because you know how you got the tracks that go all the way around and it runs on slides across the top of the hull.
Yeah.
It was so loud. If they drove at the higher speeds, it would deafen the passengers inside to the point where their ears would be ringing for 2 days.
Oh, jeez.
Jesus.
Yeah, so they
Basically the Ajax IFE.
Yeah, so basically they drove slowly just so the crew could survive the trip. Yeah,
It says there were plans to put the Meteor in the Churchill, but they never were produced.
Yeah, I'm reading this too.
see, I would have loved to see a Churchill going, 50k an hour.
Can you
Jeez,
imagine?
can you imagine that?
It would be an interesting sight. Okay, so that's the power plant. Here we come to the fun bit, the Armament.
Oh.
Aha!
So we'll go a bit more into depth of the QF32, but basically, so the Tortoise was armed with the quick-firing 32-pounder. This was derived from the 3.7-inch anti-aircraft cannon.
What?
Oh.
They done
Fuck
pulled
it.
a Flak 88.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, they copied the Germans on this one.
Fuck your Siegfried line, dude.
Ton of armor.
Yep. So, 32 pounder. The caliber for that is 94 millimeters or 3.7 inches.
Wow.
So it's big.
Wow.
Um,
Massive, even.
One of the main differences between this and the anti-aircraft version was instead of using a full one shell, it used the charge and propellant. So the two-piece. That way,
two-stage.
yep, it was a two-stage, so you could load as many propellant charges as you want.
Imagine that's like 5 propellant charges.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't this one of the first tanks to have a two charge shell?
Not sure.
I think the IS-1 had two charges.
Okay.
There were a variety of, I think, German tanks that did end up using two charge.
Of course they did.
Actually,
They're
no,
German.
most of them were self-propelled guns, I believe.
Yeah. So it had a 14.5 kilogram APCBC, which is an armor-piercing capped ballistic capped round that was capable of destroying both concrete and armor, as it fired at 2,088 feet per second.
Dear God.
Yeah. One of these rounds could punch through the front of a Panther at about 1,000 meters.
Nice.
And I got a few stats on that in the next slide, but so the firing arc, because this is a casemate tank destroyer, has no turret, so the gun traverse and elevation is pretty limited. Although not as limited as you think. It's got a firing arc of 40 degrees both left and right, and an elevation and depression of plus 20 degrees for elevation and minus 10 degrees for depression. So this thing could go hull down, and you wouldn't be able to dig it out. Now, for self-defense, it also had 3 Beezer machine guns. These are the 7.92 British machine guns. So they had one in a ball mounting in the front, on the front angle slope, armor slope. What the fuck am I saying? On the front armor slope, you had a Beezer in a ball mounting, and then it also had a twin mounting in a rotating turret on the roof.
That is gangster as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool as shit.
This thing is rolling out, ready to fucking clap some cheeks.
I've seen a video of the turret on the very top moving, and that thing moves fast.
Oh, is it electrical?
I don't think it is.
Wow. That's just a good gear ratio then.
But yeah, so we might as well talk a bit more about the 32 pounder. So, as I said, the 32 pounder was mounted on the A39. It was derived from the quick-firing 3.7 inch anti-aircraft cannon, which you can see there. This cannon was also tested on a number of other vehicles, namely bottom left. Can anyone guess what that is?
The Ram.
Yes, it is a Ram with the 94mm Q32 pounder on it.
Canada tanks,
Beautiful.
the best tanks ever, strongest tanks ever produced.
And this tank is also a premium in War Thunder as well. So,
It's also a premium in World of Tanks.
So it was comparable with both Germany's 88mm Flak 18 and the American M1-2-3, depending on which one it is, 90mm. Of course, this one being bigger. So when they were originally adopting it, it was adapted with a 30-pounder shot. So the way that the British had their calibers of, you could have a caliber of 94mm, and then the pounder was the weight of the actual shell. So originally tried it with what they called the 30-pounder. Then they changed it to a 37-pounder. A 37-pounder could punch through quite a bit, but it was a bit... Yeah, they didn't really like it too much. They dropped it back to a 32-pounder, which they actually preferred. And it was the one that they went with. So I've also got a table here of the various ammo types that it could fire. So you had the high explosive Mark 1 to the Mark 3. So these weighed 28 pounds, had a TNT filling, and it shows the fuse types and the identification of the HE rounds, which was, the body of it was buff. There was a green band around the body stamped TNT, just to let you know that it's filled with high explosive. Had a red band or ring of red crosses around the nose, denoting denote filled and suitable for all climates. Yeah, it was just the markings on the shell. For armor piercing, you had the APC BC Mark 1, 2, and 3. These were all, you'll see there's a T at the end of them. Any shell with a T at the end denotes tracer round. So these were all 32 pound, and they were the mainstay of the 32 pounder.
Very
So
nice.
I've got some stats here of someone had an observation of the 32 pounder being used against a Panther target. So this was done at 1,350 yards against the front of a Panther. And the results of 5 shots: shot 1, plugged the armor; shot 2, shot away the lower section of the gun mantlet with the deflective shot lifting the driver's plate 3 to 4 inches, and the shot ending up in the turret floor. So basically, it lifted the turret to get through. Shot
Get
3,
out of my way.
Yep, pretty much. Shot 3 coincided with a previous round, so they managed to Robin Hood that one. And shots 4 and 5 caused considerable fragmentation inside the turret. It was also observed that the observation of shot was said to be better than that of the Centurion, and the performance of 32 pounder APC-BC, say that 5 times real fast, was considered better than the 20 pounder APDS. So, and yet they still went with the 20 pounder. So yeah, that was the.
So this is what the Stug wanted to be.
Pretty much. So, along with the Tortoise not being in production, the 32 pounder ended up not going into production as well. The Tortoise was the only tank armed with a 32 pounder. Everything else ended up with the 20 pounder and eventually the 105 and stuff like that. Because initially the 32 pounder was being researched because they wanted a replacement for the 17 pounder. So they went from the 17 pounder to the 32, but yeah, as I said, they eventually settled on the 20 pounder replacement. I believe the I believe the 20 pounder is caliber 84 millimeters, 84 millimeter. Whereas the 17 pounder is 76.2 millimeters. So they wanted an upgrade, basically. Yeah. Any questions?
I don't have any.
No, sir.
No.
Okay then.
No?
Remember, guys, there'll be a quiz on this after.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Oh no.
Okay, so next slide. So let's talk about the suspension. Because it was a very
my
complex suspension.
Let me
I
guess.
see
Lots of
diagrams and I
road
look
wheels.
away.
Sorry?
I see all these diagrams. I'm not looking anymore. Screw that.
Oh yeah.
So the suspension had so it's composed of 4 bogies on each side, and each bogie had 2 pairs of road wheels. So each pair of road wheels was linked with a transverse torsion bar. Now, the way that this was all set up, even individual road wheels had their own sort of suspension movement. They could all move independently of each other within the bogie, and then of course the bogie would move as well. So it was reported that the Tortoise had an incredibly smooth ride It was actually quite pleasant.
That is good.
Well, yeah, it was. You've got a lot of suspension there for a heavy tank. It's quite good.
Well, imagine just like chilling on the back of this thing.
However, if you were maintenance, you would have hated this.
Oh, I bet.
It was so complex and had so many moving parts and all that. Each, it had over 200 grease points.
Oh
Ooh.
my god.
Ooh, fuck no. Fuck no.
No.
Yeah,
Almost sounds German.
yeah, 200 grease points, and you got to make sure you get all of them.
Fuck that shit.
All right, Private.
It's a good day to be a crewman.
this afternoon. Yep.
Yeah, that's the lowest on the ladder that gets that job.
Just
The
points
gunner.
the gun at the loader.
Yeah, the
then
loader.
grab the bucket
Points
of
the
grease.
grease gun at the loader.
Get out.
So as I said before, the drive sprocket was at the front, and the rear wheel was a set of paired idler wheels, and all of this was it all gave for a very smooth ride. It's just maintenance would have been a bitch. So active service, not a lot. Actually, none at all. The Tortoise didn't actually make it to the Second World War.
Well, obviously, to me, it hasn't made a kid of it.
No, which they should. But, so, as I said, the A33 and the T14, the British were looking into as heavy assault tanks. None of them worked out at all. Nuffield Mechanism and Aero Limited submitted 18 separate designs to the War Office, and the only one that was approved was labelled AT16, which is what we now know as the A39. When the War Office saw this one, they approved it and immediately ordered 25 without prototypes. It was set for a deadline of September 1945, but we all know that didn't happen. War had ended by then.
Thank God.
Suck it, werewoos.
Foreshadowing.
So, by the end of the Second World War, only 6 Tortoises had been built, and they weren't actually delivered until 1946. So they wouldn't have met the deadline anyway. A few of those were sent to Germany for testing after the war with the British Army of the Rhine. So that was the occupation forces. During these trials, it showed that it had a really good reliability rate. However, and it was a very, very stable gunnery platform, hence from the suspension systems and all that. So, however, logistically, it was a nightmare. It was too heavy. Like as we saw before, it required 2 heavy haul trucks just to move it, and carry it and all of that. Plus, it could not ford any British bridge at all. None of the bridges would have taken the weight at all.
You're kidding.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, Cal, so I'm missing something here. Did they make these in Britain?
Yep.
But hold on, the British had this requirement that all their tanks had to be able to fit on their, in their railway tunnels, right? So they just say, screw that for this.
I thought. Well, I mean, it did fit on a tank trailer, so I guess it was fine.
This thing's a bit wide, don't you think, for some of these tunnels?
The Tortoise is actually wider than a Jagd Tiger.
Oh,
Oh my God.
See,
That's a wide
I can't
bitch.
decide. I can't decide if I'd rather be a crew member in this or in like a Sherman. It's like on one hand, you'd probably be way more, comfy in this, but You don't
Well,
have
I
that
do this, you
bullshit
didn't-
maintenance.
I'd do this. You didn't even go to war.
Yeah,
Good point.
straight up. And if you did, you'd be really protected.
And yeah,
Facts.
You'd be the crown jewel.
However, because of this weight, the Tortoise is tested by the British Army of the Rhine, the BAOR. It was not only used in gunnery and crossing trials, it was also used to test the strength of local bridges to see if they'll hold up the weight of future Allied heavy tanks.
Oh my god.
So it's like,
Hey, drive
look
this
at it.
tank over the bridge for me.
Yeah, see if it holds.
Oh, you
Hey,
load it
Nigel,
into the
can you go
driver's seat.
drive across this bridge for me? Yeah, thanks. I'm gonna go stand behind you.
So once the trials were over, the Tortoise project was just abandoned. It was gone.
Good.
Primarily because the era of the separate tank was over. Assault infantry cruiser tanks would be replaced with the Universal or MBT, main battle tank. Primarily in Britain's case at this point was the Centurion.
Trash.
This way of thinking also got rid of the A43 Black Prince project as well, because it wasn't needed anymore. Now, there are 2 surviving Tortoises, and I've seen one of them in real life in Bovington. It's
Really?
Yep. It's amazing, it's massive, and it's really cool. So that one there is in perfect running order.
Wow.
And there is footage
That
of it.
is crazy.
Yeah. So they did. I think in 2012 they brought it out to run around at Tankfest. So
After greasing all 200 of the grease points.
yep.
Just curious, when you saw it in person, did you ever imagine that, like, how many years later you'd be talking about it on a marginally successful podcast?
No, I only ever saw myself talking about it to a very bored girlfriend.
That's understandable.
Yeah, that's as far
We
as I
can be
thought.
your girlfriends.
Podcast is far more realistic.
So yeah, so there's one at Bovington. The other one is found at the Kirkcudbright military training area, which is in Scotland. I guarantee I didn't pronounce that right, but I don't care.
It's the Scots. Who cares?
Yeah,
Fuck Scotland.
Yeah.
For real.
Hey, I'm part Scottish, so
No. Not a safe space for you, man.
Yeah, get out of here.
that's fine. I'm fine. That's all good. So the second one is on military of defence property, and it's in a designated site of special scientific interest, whatever that means.
It's a hunk of metal.
It's
Yeah.
me with the calculus textbook.
Yeah, so at the moment they can't recover it because the designation of the area. I'm just reading a quote here. It says, "This designation complicates the recovery due to concerns about damage to the surrounding area in a special scientific interest area."
Huh.
Yeah, I wonder what that.
Put Half-Life 3 there.
Chernobyl Part 2.
But that was the fates. The other ones, so there was 6 built, 2 are still around. One of them is in a museum, the other one is in some shady bloody field. The others were used as target practice, basically. Just scrapped, which is very, very unfortunate.
Man,
Cal-
At least they
that's
kept a couple of them.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Jack.
Hey, Callum. Yeah. What about the sister of this tank, the T95?
There was only one T95 made. It was a prototype again. And the Americans lost it.
In a
Oh.
field.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
they
the
lost
one
it
that-
in a bush.
For
The one
28
that everybody's
years.
seen the picture of, right?
Yeah. Yes, the super heavy assault tank the Americans built and lost for what was it, 28 years?
28 years, yeah.
How the
high
fuck
peak
do you lose a
champion.
tank?
Oh, quite
Especially
easily.
this tank, though.
Yeah, and well, it was just in a bush. It was in a bush in a field, and no one thought to look in the bloody bush.
No,
See,
who the fuck drove it there?
camouflage is realistic.
It was just
Wartime
like behind the
camouflage is
bush.
realistic.
Yeah, was that Ezra?
I said it's like not even in the bush. It's just like barely behind it.
Yeah.
It's not even covering most of it.
No, it's not.
Okay,
Somehow
where was the
they didn't
asshole who
think.
drove it there?
Oh,
Some
good point.
Was he
Ukrainian
like, no,
farmer.
I'm not telling.
So you have to go find it.
Yeah, no, it was some Ukrainian farmer.
But yeah, so if we go to the next slide, there's only one. So this is models of the A39. There's only one 35th scale that I can find, and that's from Ming.
I'm buying it.
Of course.
I want it so much.
I know. I just
I bet
want
it's
to
a
do the
good kit.
cast texture.
Oh, the cast texture. Mm.
Yeah, well, the whole thing's cast.
Oh,
So if we look at the bottom left, so someone's done the Tortoise, and they've also done a Jag Tiger, and you can see the difference in size.
Jesus.
God.
That thing is wide.
Yeah.
It's thick.
Is it
Ready
wrong
for
to
a
want to see
beatdown.
the behind the rear end of this tank?
Negative, Ghost Rider. I'm right there with you.
Otherwise, all the others I can find are mainly resin printed. So the top right, that's a resin printed one. Now, I think
Well,
that
I
one's
know what I'm doing tonight.
72nd scale.
Huh.
But yeah, so there's not a lot of modelling subjects on the Tortoise, which is a shame. You know.
At least there's something on it, though.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and Meng isn't like a bad kit manufacturer. I mean, that thing's probably a joy to build.
Oh yeah,
That's
Ming's a pretty
true.
good one.
yeah, they're cornering the market right here.
But yeah, that is the A39 Tortoise.
Thank you,
Gee
Very
guys.
fun.
Good
Yeah,
stuff, dude.
thank you, Callum.
What?
Thank you for the very nice presentation.
I think we all learned something today.
Yes.
We sure did. Bitch is thick.
Bitches be trifling. Well, we have. Oh god, I can't even keep a straight face.
Here we
a
go.
segment on this podcast called "A Hill to Die On," where one of us comes on with a really bad take, and he gets crucified for it. Ezra, Ezra,
And he will do.
oh, you're dying today, boy.
We're ready for this one.
Take it away.
As you can see, here are some compiled, very interesting pictures showing wereabouts in their natural environment. As seen on the middle, with this, I don't even fucking know how to describe it. Fuck. But I'm at a loss of words here. Someone else do this.
Ezra, please describe what a wereabou is for our listeners.
It is pretty much someone that is completely obsessed with, you know, they just have an exaggerated view of Germany's accomplishments or like conduct before and during World War II.
They stand German armor, basically.
Yes.
Do you guys have a Panzer model I can build?
Exactly. There is your weirdo. Or, yeah. Or they're busy wishing some, like, hot anime SS girls give them a hand job or something, you know.
Basically,
the
the
classic.
picture I just sent to the podcast planning would summarize your typical wereabou.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
Here, I'm
You
going to
have to
insert
add
it.
that to the slide.
Yep.
No,
I'm inserting it in right
that's
now.
going to get us canceled. Don't do that.
Oh, God damn.
Join the Discord. Join the Discord.
Yeah, join the Discord to
Join
see the
Discord.
Yeah,
exclusives.
Discord only.
You're really saying that the furries on the tank won't get us
Dude,
canceled?
no. There's a reason why this is going to be your last podcast.
But no, just the moral of the story is don't be a wereaboo. Don't build panthers.
Hey,
Excessively.
Yeah, Jack. Why
Oh
you building
yeah,
a
Jack,
panther,
you're
huh?
fine.
well, we've got conflicting opinions here. Come on, fight it out.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
but-
Okay, fine. Don't build tigers.
Okay.
but what if I want to build a tiger, Ezra?
Yeah, Ezra, what if I want to build a tiger?
And then you'll be labeled as a wereaboo in front of the entire modeling community.
This is impossible, Ezra. I literally have like Canadian nationalism as a central component of every single diorama I make. How could I be a wereaboo?
Yeah,
Build a
there's
Canadian
Canadian
tiger.
flam there. Oh, sorry,
Build a
that's right.
Canadian
Dennis,
tiger.
you,
True.
that's right, Dennis, you're a maple boo.
Fuck realism.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
A maple boo. Yes.
I'm a maple boo, and I'm proud of it.
We
Canada,
need a
best
cross
country,
between
number
wereaboo and
one.
maple boo.
Yeah, fuck realism. Canadian tiger.
Actually,
God.
that is not as far-fetched as it might seem,
Exactly.
because there was a Canadian captured panther.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't there also a Canadian captured nashorn?
There was a Canadian captured nashorn, panther. There was a whole basically quite a few tanks were captured by the Canadians, and some of them were put back into service.
That's a great move right there.
Wait,
You
does
know-
that make the Canadians wereaboos because we were putting panthers into service?
Well,
Yeah.
the Americans did the same thing during the Battle of the Bulge. You've seen the the Stug 3s they'd capture and then put a whole lot of concrete armor on them.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but stugs are different. Okay, stugs are cool.
That's the Queen Wehrmacht myth.
I think Ezra's low-key a wereaboo. I think he's just hiding it from us.
Well, he's already come out of the closet. He's come out of the closet
Stugaboo.
once. He can do it again.
Contact
honest
fucking Callum.
I have to be honest here. I have 3 Opal Blitzes in my stash.
There's nothing wrong with building German armor as long as you don't do it excessively and believe the Third Reich should live on. That's whenever you are labeled a wereaboo and you are crucified by every single person known to man.
I
Hold on. Jack,
I have 9 unbuilt Panzer IVs in my stash.
Jack,
What?
in your stash, wait, what percentage of your stash is German?
Majority.
Wereaboo. Wereaboo. Straight to jail.
No. I swear.
Straight to jail. Yep.
I have
Okay, my stash is probably 75% German. 9 Panzer IVs, 2 Panzer IIIs, 2 or 3 Tigers,
Bruh.
and at least
when you
5
think
Stug
about
3s.
When you think about it, like, can you really blame most of these guys? Because I remember seeing this statistic where they broke down like the subject nationality of all the 35th scale armor kits, and something like insane, like over half of them were German
that
World
makes
War
sense,
II.
though.
Yeah, and then you look at every time there's a brand new model company that comes out, and the first thing they bring out will be German. Where it would be Panzer IV, Panzer III, Tiger, and everyone knows exactly
that's
what
true.
bloody everyone knows exactly what companies I'm talking about there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it out loud.
No, I said it. I'm coming right at them because I built their models. I can say that.
Say it.
Okay, Vespid, Border, and Suyata. I want to see you guys after the podcast outside.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of much more to add to this except read our "How Wereaboo Are You" chart that we pirated off of Google.
Wait, we have one?
Pirate.
Well,
What do you mean?
I pirated off of Google because I
no,
made
there
this
was
slide.
no pirating involved. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I
on,
was going to
Ezra.
say, what are you talking about, Ezra?
We never pirate anything. I don't.
True.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
Also,
pirate, like
top
with the
right
ship.
image. What does this have to do with the wereabooism?
Don't mention it.
I couldn't find any on a Panzer, so I thought a Sherman was close enough. Because didn't the Germans use captured Shermans?
Very rarely. What the fuck?
But they did. I have seen photo of a Sherman, and it's got the iron crosses all over it, and it was knocked out by another Sherman, by an American. Although that must have been a total mindfuck for the gunner. It's like, we got a tank in front of us. Like, it looks like one of us with crosses on it. Do I shoot?
I mean, I remember seeing a Sherman that was captured by the Germans, then recaptured by the Canadians.
Very nice. No, but we all have to admit that, yeah, that picture should be burned.
Yeah.
You're the one who posted it, Monfrere.
Well, you're the one who mentioned that such a thing existed, so I had to look.
There wasn't an invitation for you to look it up.
None of us are going to mention the caption that was on that picture.
Oh no, we're not going to. No. Join the Discord.
Discord.
Yeah, join the Discord. Post it.
Yeah, I'll post an uncensored version.
Oh no.
Oh jeez.
It's going right now into shit posts. Okay.
God damn it.
Well, that was the most disturbing hill to die on we've ever done.
Yeah, let me click away from this slide real
Please
quick.
do. Works in progress. Yeah, this is much better. Please.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful. Oh crap! It's mine. Okay. Crap. This week has been mostly me spraying Tamiya flat clear over sheets of decal paper because I got a big order from a hobby store for my stuff.
Cool.
And I had
Hell
to
yeah,
do a
dude.
restock. Yeah.
Woo.
Support your local business. Buy autoloader decals. That's my plug. Otherwise, I went out earlier this week to the local hobby shop, and I picked up this cute little 1:72 scale Aoshima Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force Type 60. 1:72 scale. It is really nice. It is a full interior, right down to the engine and fighting compartment, and then all that. It's got clear parts, link and length tracks. It's actually like it was cute, but it's tiny.
So adorable.
Where
Yeah.
did you get that?
Wheels and Wings. Jack, if you go to Wheels and Wings, they've got a bunch of Aoshima kits there.
Where?
In the oh crap! Oh, we did this last episode.
Yeah, this is
So
the
you
second
go
time we've
to
done
the,
this.
You go to the back, right? You go in the armor section, and at the very back of the armor section, right beside where they have all the 16th scale trumpeter kits, go basically across from there. The aisle, like kind of the island in the center of the armor section.
Yeah.
On the north side of that aisle, they have a bunch of Aoshima kits.
Is it like kind of in that shelf area where they have that it's like a basket and it has some metal figures in there too?
Yes, exactly. It's right there.
Okay, cool. I'm heading to Toronto Thursday, so maybe I'll be able to check it out.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, but it's nice because this kit had like clear parts and all that, so you could do all your stuff with that. It is also not it's not a closed top. It is actually an open top vehicle, so you can see if you've got the right angle, all the interior, which was really nice.
Oh,
I will say, when I first looked at this, I was like, "This has got to be the most garbage kit I ever saw." And then I put it together, and then I was like, "Why has Aoshima not done this in 35th scale?" And I realized it's because they have no need for 35th scale. They can do all the 35th scale detailing in 1:72 because Japanese magic.
Dude, that's awesome. Good for them. Honestly, that's really good.
Yeah, we're real proud of you, Aoshima. And then I also did in 4 days I did a diorama. I know the truck is levitating. That's something I'm going to fix later. This was taken before I had put down all the mud. So have no fear, the truck is not going to levitate like that on the real, on the finished product. But yeah, tried out, doing some new diorama techniques, making a stencil for the airbrush, and yeah.
Nice.
I really like that stencil.
Looking good.
You basically managed to get 2 models done in the time that I got like a fifth of one.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding when I, in one night, built both of these models. like
Wow.
in like
Jesus.
1 5-hour period.
Jesus.
That's the
That's
Tamiya
tangible.
experience right there.
You got that done, and I did like a few photo etch railings.
Yeah, and then other than that, just a shout out to the Ontario Regiment Museum here in beautiful Oshawa, Ontario. I was driving by the other day and I saw they have a new M551. Yeah, they already have one, the M551 TTS, which they restored perfectly to full working order. This one's probably going to be a newer one, an older one, I should say, from Vietnam. But I think they are going to be doing a full resto on this one as well.
Are they open
Very
yet?
nice.
Yeah, they're open all the time, Jack. They just had the RCAC conference, but I think after this weekend, they should be open to the general public.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. That was what I was doing.
Very nice.
Ooh,
So this is mine. So this is my
Nice.
32nd scale Academy Sopwith Camel F1, and it's finally finished. I finally got the
Beautiful.
rigging done last night.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so
Dang.
it put up one hell of a fight. It's there's a reason that kit is like $30. But it's good to finally have it finished. Yeah, it's looking good.
You did it some
Rating.
justice, man. Honestly.
Yeah, that
Dude,
rate
that's probably
rating's
the
spectacular.
best looking World War I plane I've seen in a long time.
that rigging
Yeah.
is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that rigging. The rigging was the last thing. I was planning on putting the top wing on last and doing the rigging without it. But then I realized I couldn't get the struts to line up properly to do the rigging without the top wing on. So I just thought, screw it, put the top wing on, and then just tweezers and all of that, and just trying to get the rigging through. So I think the rigging itself took me 4 hours.
Wow.
Jesus.
Simple.
Yeah, about 4 hours to do in total. So, but
Looks
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So I'm just glad it's done. It's done. I wouldn't mind doing another 30-second aircraft, but I'll just have to save up a lot to do it because they are expensive.
Well, dude, you did a really good job on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely be proud of that one.
Yeah, I definitely am. It's a pretty good one. Yeah. Who's next?
That
Egg.
would be me. Alright, so I got quite a bit to show off today. Starting on the left, got the Hobby Boss AAV that I built for a commission. There's a dude here on base that he's a AAV commander, and his dad is also a AAV. He actually teaches at the school. And I built his father, a AAV a while back, and so they hit me up again, and they're like, hey, we liked your work before, so would you mind making another one for their son? So did that, and they'll be picking it up here in about 2 weeks. But that's the Hobby Boss AAV. That gave me quite the headache.
It looks pretty good, man.
Great, though.
How'd you do the water coming out the hose?
So the water coming out the hose, I got the clear sprue that carried all the clear parts. I cut a segment off, and then I shaved it down to a fine point. Then I used the X-Acto knife, and I scraped the entire sprue to give it like not such a clear look. And then I glued the end onto the hose, and then I got that clear resin glue you guys showed me. I got that and put 3 different layers onto the actual AAV where the sprue connects. That way it gives it the appearance that it's actually hitting a sloped surface. And yeah,
Cool.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool.
Appreciate it. It was fun. I had a good time with it. And then on the right, I finally finished my Battle for France diorama that's been in the works for about 7 months. 6.5, 7 months.
Wow.
Granted, I wasn't working on it for like 90% of the time. I started this build and was way too intimidated by the paint scheme of the R35 to finish it, and then joined the podcast group, and I saw that just about everyone has built one, so I said, fuck it, I'll go for it. and boy, am I glad I did.
Yeah, go for it. You did.
Yeah, it looks good.
Looks amazing.
Appreciate it.
I'm pretty jealous how well you did the camo. Because when I did mine, I had no idea what the hell I was doing, eh?
I appreciate that.
Hey, how did you
Yeah,
do
the infantry came out well.
Yeah, the infantry's nice. How did
Thank
you
you.
do the sidewalks in the diorama?
So the diorama base is made out of that foam, and then the actual sidewalks are made out of a different type of foam. It's like 1/8 of the inch thick. So I got two of them, glued them together, and then just got an X-Acto knife and made the cutouts like those lines, and then glued them on.
Looks good.
Appreciate it. That's it for the first one. If you'll go to the next one, please. There we are. Okay. So this is what I'm currently working on. I should be moving here soon, so I've got one more big diorama to make beforehand. There's a IPMS show in the local area in San Diego coming up in June, and I plan to make a Ukraine diorama for that. Top left is some of the accessories, like some laws, tracks, rifles, things like that I've got base painted. Then the top center is what I'm actually working on at the moment. It's a wooden house from Wish, believe it or not, and it's going together quite well. Then the two photos on the right are of all the infantry I got from AliExpress. There's 9 of them, I think. Very nice detail. Got them all for about $30. Took a little bit to get here, but definitely worth the time it took to get here for the quality and quantity that I received. It's very nice. And then that big old green base is what's the diorama currently is standing as. It's got a T-72 that I'll be working on later on. It's going to be sitting on that road. There's going to be a tree with some fallen leaves, and somewhere will be the house once it's finished.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember Greg and I, we were on Google Earth trying to look at actual like street views of places in Ukraine and to figure out where the house should be.
Yes. Yes, that was a good time. But yeah, that's that.
That's awesome, man.
Appreciate it.
Oh, is that me? Yeah. So this is just a couple pictures on the progress I've made with my turpets. Just more photo etch. It's relentless. It never ends. But yeah, that's what I've been doing on this. Nothing too exciting. Just a lot of photo etch. Yeah.
Blessed be Brother Jack for enduring the photo etch in the shipbuilding for us.
Yes.
I don't know where you get the patience.
Honestly.
You know, I don't either.
Yeah.
At least you recognize that.
Yeah.
Jack, is this going to be the case where you do one ship and then you just can't do any more after that?
Yeah.
Well, I did a 196 scale USS Constitution like a year or two ago. So I guess I'll probably be doing ships on like a bi-yearly basis.
You know what? That's fair. That is
Yeah.
fair.
It'll probably, well, now I've got a deadline for this one, or relative deadline, like August for the artillery thing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that's what I've been working on.
Very nice.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Looking good.
It's always good to see those ship updates from you, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'll try to get some done so I can always have something to send.
Hell yeah.
And then next is a bit of a different project because building photo etch rails over and over and over again gets repetitive. This is This is actually a one scale PO8 Luger prop gun that friend of Dennis. I got him to print it for me. Dennis, you want to tell the story about this?
Okay, yeah. So first of all, before I even tell the story, shout out to Jesse and his business Sika FPV. Yeah, I work with him, but I don't even know if he's going to hear this or not. But yeah, otherwise, dude, you're a legend. So basically, I got this message from Jack. How many days ago was this now?
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple of weeks, I'd say. He was like, "Can you print this file for me with your resin printer?" And I thought at first, yeah, why not? Because I didn't realize how big the Luger is. So I go to actually print it, and I realize no matter how I chop this file into different pieces, I won't be able to like print it. Like my printer just is not that big. So yeah. Anyways, I told Jack to contact my buddy Jesse at work, and he came in clutch. Yeah, he's able to get that all squared away for him, and it's looking
In
great.
like 2
Great,
days,
man.
mind you.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah. So
that thing's looking great.
I know it's pretty sweet. I've just been painting this because, well, you know, building like I've just been building for a lot of months. I haven't done weathering in a long time, and I thought I needed a break, and I thought I needed something to paint, and this is one of the perfect things.
Dude, I thought that top view was a real Luger for a minute.
Yeah,
Until
honestly,
you
dude.
told me.
Yeah. Well, I tried my best to clean it up as best I can, but yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Oh, and here is my AFV Club 135th scale shot Caldelet. I just recently got my stowage for it and just have been busy putting it on and base coating it. Note there's still a shit ton to do, but you can see my general idea of where it's going.
You say there's a shit ton to do, but I would look at that and be like, damn, that is a beautiful, completed model.
Yeah, that looks finished.
Thank you. I still need to finish painting that stowage is still in the resin color. I need to apply some dust to the lower hull, some more grease, finish. Oh, add a tie down to one of the pieces of stowage, repaint the rubble. Yeah, and a bunch more. But it's getting close. I really like the tied down antennas I did though.
Yes, those are
are
neat.
nice.
Yeah, thank you. And the air recognition tarp I sculpted myself.
What'd you sculpt it out of?
Just out of some milliput I had.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good old air panel, dude. Beautiful.
thank you. That's the only part of the stowage that's completely painted.
It's
Good
gorgeous.
I was working on adding some of the wires to the 50 cal in the front. They go into the commander's cupola. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked with how it's looking.
Oh, question for you, Ezra, about
Yes.
the 50 cal. So you drilled out your barrel, correct?
Of course.
Of course. How about the front sight?
I think it's drilled out.
Okay, because one thing I've like I don't know why I started doing it, but you know the front ring sight.
Yes.
If I don't drill it out now, I will always see that. It's one like tiny detail. So tiny pin vise, right? Just
Right.
go there, drill it out, then take an X-Acto knife and kind of round it out. Trust me,
Yeah.
dude, it adds so much, even more than the barrel being drilled out.
I bet.
Yeah.
I know I drilled out the, I think it's a 30 cal coax in the front.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the end, I'm going to cover it in shell casings.
Oh, that'll be nice. Where are you getting your shell casings from?
From Sprue Brothers.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll try to 3D print the actual, the links for the 50 cal.
Oh, that would be neat.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a pro tip from the Mike Machines podcast. When you're doing a 50 cal, drill everything out because you can see it, and it does make a difference.
Oh, and I'm also going to add some like big metal bolts to the inside of it, so it just has a really hefty feel.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and also so it'll sit on its suspension a bit flatter.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is why Ezra should be sponsored.
Yeah.
We're going to
We
mention
hope
that
you
every
listen to
episode.
Yep.
Please sponsor me, Ammo.
Promotion.
Don't disregard my resume.
Yeah. You're on this successful podcast and everything?
Yes. I at least deserve a shot.
Actually, just give us all sponsorships.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah. Just sponsor the podcast, be fine.
Yeah.
Just
MMG by
give us money.
Ammo, you won't regret it.
Yes.
We won't
I
even
will
need a
fight
Patreon.
for you.
Yeah, we won't even need a Patreon if we're sponsored by Ammo.
Yeah.
Fucks.
Well, that's looking awesome, man.
Thank you.
We got some news.
Send it.
Well,
Ezra, you want to do this or you want me to do it?
I can do it. Everyone, please join our artillery group build we have running from May 1st to August 1st. You can find a link in our Instagram, and I'll probably force Dennis to post it everywhere else.
I'll drop a link everywhere else.
Thank you. And yeah, join our Discord server, chat with us, post your work in progress pics, and you will get awarded a little role in the server saying you participated.
And why don't you tell us some of the rules of this group build? Like, what can you build? What doesn't count?
I can do that since I actually wrote them. So basically, this is focusing on proper artillery. So the idea here is that any sort of static artillery piece, like an M777 or whatever, that's absolutely fair game. Mortars, anything like that, any scale, absolutely fine. Also, self-propelled artillery. So say Wespa, or a Hummel, that's completely fair game. Even something like an Archer is technically fair game because it was operated by Royal Artillery. What wouldn't be considered fair game is something like, say, a tank, firing indirectly. So like a Panther wouldn't count, even if it is firing indirectly. But yeah, basically anything like that. Even artillery command and control vehicles, those are fair game as well. But yeah, it's nice. That's basically the idea. No more than 25% done by the beginning of the group build, which is on May 1st. And yeah, we hope that you can show us what you've been doing, and we can have some cool artillery.
Am I correct in assuming that, say, like a medieval siege catapult?
Absolutely valid. Absolutely valid.
Oh, if someone wants to do catapult or trebuchet, they will get a very special badge.
Val is
whatever.
Okay.
The trebuchet badge.
He is doing it.
Oof. Can't wait to see that.
It's gonna be beautiful.
What else is everyone doing?
I am building a 1/100 scale bishop with a limber.
Ooh, nice.
I will be.
Go ahead.
I will be building the Japanese Type 1 Honi self-propelled gun.
Ooh.
Yeah, just
Sweet.
because I was looking at building the M7 Priest, but trying to find one online and the cost, and then I realized, hang on, I've already got an SPG sitting at home, so yeah, I'm going to do that one.
Nice. That's
Very
nice
good.
to get too. Nice box art.
Yeah.
The box art's pretty cool on this one.
I will be doing a 1:72 scale Japanese ground self-defense force Type 12 surface-to-ship missile launcher. It's basically an 8x8 hauler truck with something that looks oddly like a Patriot missile on it.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's going to
That'll
be
be
cool.
interesting.
I have decided that I like Aoshima now.
Would it be acceptable to build a? This is a bit of a stretch here, but you could just build a wreck of what was that Russian cruiser
The Moskva?
Yes, because it got shot by Neptune, which...
Well, wouldn't it make more sense to do the Neptune? Ezra, I'm pretty sure you can 3D print them now.
Yeah, but you want to have them think a little bit. You're like, why is this diorama just calm C?
Yeah, okay, yeah. If you could somehow make it so like it ties back to artillery like that, I suppose it could be tangentially allowed in the group build.
Boom. I know what my second build is.
Yeah, make that your second build. Like, you get a proper, definite one in first.
I'm going to be doing my bishop with old diorama.
That's going to be awesome. Greg, you got any ideas for it?
Yes, I actually threw mine on the next slide.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Kaboom, 25% done, waiting for tomorrow.
Ooh.
This is the really... Oh, God, the brand is Atlantis, and everyone knows how shitty they are. But I'm going to try to bring some life to this 8-inch long tom howitzer gun, 1:48 scale. Going to be making it on the island of Okinawa during World War II. Basically, left-hand photo is the diorama bases. It's going to be like a little rock face up on the right with the road. There's in the bottom right, there's a picture with a bunch of grass. That is actually fish tank grass. It's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches tall. I'm going to be using that as the long grass for the diorama. So that'll be all over the place. There'll be a muddy road, and the spot where the artillery gun's at will be some of that long grass, flattened out with mud. That way, it shows that the gun's been there for about a day or two. It's been engaging, going at it and whatnot. And I've also got a Bandai 1:48 scale U.S. Artillery crew coming in the mail, which I got the last one from Amazon. It's apparently a super rare kit, so pretty excited to try my hand at 1:48 scale.
You mean you're not going to use the figures provided by Atlantis?
Dude, I'll be honest with you, I tried. I really did. They do not flow. Like, I can work with the shitty molding gummy bear wannabes, right? They just did not flow at all. It was so bad. They didn't fit anywhere on the fucking gun. Like, even the dude with the wrench, like, there was no spot where he would actually make sense. So
he just bangs the gun with the wrench.
That's pretty much what it looked like. Like,
Greg, other than the figures, how'd you find the kit? Because it looks pretty decent in these photos you've posted.
Thank you. So I found where I actually found it, like got it from.
Yeah, how'd you find it? What was the quality like?
Oh, it was good actually. I built the Atlantis Pershing 1:48 scale actually September 1st, the day my son was born, and dude, it was horrible. It was so bad. The Pershing, this kit compared to the Pershing, is like 10 times better. There's a little bit of flashing. I had to make the ends on the. So you see where the gun kind of V's, those stabilizers keeping it in place?
Yeah.
The end pieces where it kind of tees off, I had to custom make those out of pieces with the kit, because the kit itself is made to be looking like it's being towed. So there's the pieces that would actually come out were supposed to be folded in onto the trailer. Now, granted, it would have looked great being towed. I just don't have a vehicle to tow it, and I'm not going to spend money on a vehicle to tow it. So besides a little bit of flash, some custom working with my little X-Acto knife, it was actually a very fun build.
Huh. Very nice.
And then, of course, the figures are gummy bears, as we all know.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and I'm doing my turpits. I kind of spoiled it earlier. But...
Now you have to, put a lot of effort into just like one specific turret.
Yeah, exactly. Or just like
that's the funny thing. Was it the funny thing, Jack? It was like it's supposed to be not more than 25% done before the 1st of May, and you You reckon you're not 25% there?
I'm getting there.
I don't even. Are you even 25% of the way through the photo etch?
Probably not. It's been
I'd say
7
like
years
30.
and it's only 30%.
I'd say 30% to be honest.
Oh,
Those
that's no
4
good, is
sheets
it?
I've got. Yeah, we're getting there.
Oof. Yeah, so this slide's just showing the kit that I'm going to be making. So this is the Tamiya one, and I'm going to be doing this one as if it's in a sort of sandbagged bunker. So it's been used as a static position, and not sure if I'll use the figures or not. But yeah.
Have you thought about... So it comes with all those figures shown, right? Or just a crew?
With the figures in the foreground, yeah.
Oh, that... I'll get back to you later.
He's going to give an offer he can't refuse.
Well, I was going to say, is like, I could probably like send them to you, Greg, but they're 35th, not 48. Otherwise, you could have put them in your hiding in the grass in your long tom.
Those would actually be perfect, and yeah, that would be awesome. Too bad. That's okay.
But yeah, so that's my group build.
Sweet.
Good stuff.
2 more slides.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Meme
Well,
of the
we're going
week.
to do a new segment starting this week called Meme of the Week. Feast your eyes.
Love it.
Yeah. I think
So
it's
for the audio listeners, why don't you describe what the meme is?
Yes.
Greg, you're up.
I nominate Dennis.
Dang it. Okay, cool. So on the left, right, you have a T90. I think it's an Indian T90. I'm not sure, but whatever. On the right, so you guys, for you audio listeners, you've probably seen those memes where it's like, the whole circle, right? I meet somebody, we get to like each other. Yeah, I say something, they leave, and then the circle repeats, right? So in the center of the circle this time, we have the stock image off of Wikipedia for the M1A2. It's very pixelated. We haven't bought enough pixels for this meme yet, so that's why
It has
we need
Tusk
a
armor.
Patreon. Yes, I recognize this photo. It is exactly from the Wikipedia page. So the circle goes as this: I meet T90, gunner, sabo, tank. They die a miserable death as the kinetic penetrator creates swelling and melts their faces off. And it goes to designate, and then the cycle repeats.
Cutter, Sago, tank.
You'd have to see it to appreciate it, so watch this on YouTube.
This is foreshadowing for the European War.
Oh no.
No, this can't possibly be, because there won't be any T90s left.
You're right.
You're right.
That link page.
Oh, yes. Join the Discord. We have some cool reference photos for y'alls.
Yeah.
Every single reference photo, mind you.
Yeah.
And nothing is pirated.
No, nothing is pirated.
It's all given to us by the grace of our Lord Can Medic.
Thank you, Ken Medic.
Ah,
He'll be on next week's episode, by the way.
yes,
Whether
he
he
is.
likes
He
it or
will be
not.
on next week's episode.
This is a promise. Is it a promise?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a
promise
promise.
Okay. This is a promise.
100% Ken Medic will be on the next episode.
I think we were kind to make him think he had a choice.
Exactly.
The choice of illusion.
Yes.
The illusion of choice. Fuck.
Smooth.
It's okay, Jack. We've all been there.
Oh, man.
It's too late for this shit.
Does anybody have any announcements or anything you'd like to make?
Nope.
Word.
If you're going to the IPMS show in San Diego in June, let me know.
Hit up our
Oh.
mans.
I have one.
Send it.
It's Dennis is obviously a furry because he's the one who told me about said furry tank images.
Hang on, whoa,
Back it up.
Wait a minute.
wait a damn minute.
How am I the furry?
You're
You're the
aware
one
of
who
it.
told me about it. So I was like, yeah, I can't talk today, fuck. I had to look it up and post a picture of it.
You looked it up. You posted the picture of it. That makes you the tank furry.
Yeah, I mean,
Damn,
Dennis is already the femboy. He can't be the fairy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm already
Well-
gay, so I can't be the furry either.
Furries are gay, same thing.
Greg, I've got news for you.
Yeah, you can shove your cat ears up your ass.
Oh, if you thought that the Dennis femboy concept art was bad, just wait till you see what I'm making for you, Greg.
Oh fuck no. Oh hell no. We're gonna fight.
Gonna have a boxing match next episode.
I'm gonna tear this
jeez.
podcast apart. We're not gonna make it to 10 episodes.
Oh. The 10th episode is just gonna be us screaming at each other.
It's gonna be a Jerry Springer episode.
Yeah.
Well, oh,
Okay,
there's
then.
one more slide.
Oh no.
Oh jeez.
Ezra, this better not be anything.
Ezra. Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
I know, isn't that so cool?
I was so scared there for like a
I
solid
was
minute.
too, bro. Where the
What are we
fuck
looking
did they get Humvees?
I know, they must have captured it from the Ukrainians.
No. This has to be some like cheap, crappy Chinese knockoff.
Yeah.
Humvee from Wish.
I'm more
Zombie.
interested in. I'm more interested in the crane that's got
That
Z's.
crane is sick.
Crane goes hard.
Is that so they can recover all the tanks taken by the farmers?
All these Russian tanks do not understand that they are in the presence of a certified forklift operator.
Oh god.
I love how there's a Z painted on the actual crane part itself when there's a Z right next to it.
Bro, have you seen some of those tanks they have out there? Like, there's literally Z's all over the bitch, like it's a camo pattern.
It's for
That's true.
identification.
Bro, you know what? I appreciate the fact that they acknowledge how crappy their identification skills are, that they just have to cover everything in Z's.
Dude, honestly.
Honestly, all the Z's are doing is just like justifying when I do like insignias and stuff on tanks and they look bad. And I can say, well, they did it out in the field. Because I've gotten into multiple arguments with people going, no, it would still, there's still the lines and stuff will still be nice and straight and all that. And you're just like, nope, look at the Z's. Look at what they're drawing on these 1-to-1 scale. They look just
Yeah.
as bad. Like,
Yeah.
come on,
Yeah.
it's
These are
field
worse.
painting. They weren't getting a fucking ruler out.
I mean, have you seen that some of them were taped on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Big brain. Then the Ukrainians, when they capture them, they could just take the tape off instead of repainting. They're being thoughtful.
Hey, that Z on the side of the Humvee looks like it was drawn on with MS Paint.
It looks photoshopped, yeah.
Ezra, you didn't just give us a photoshopped image here, did you?
I don't think so. I got it off of one of Frenchie's images on
Oh, okay, yeah.
Kitmaker.
Shout out Frenchie.
Yes. He's been providing amazing reference pics since day one of the invasion. Yeah.
Since birth.
Frenchie came out the womb with the kit maker account.
I don't even know how he finds all these pictures.
He's over there.
There is an amazing
He's
place.
there. He took that picture.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
He's on the front lines.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's where we should be.
Welcome to
Probably.
the podcast field trip
Yeah.
in an
With
Iltis.
the Iltis. Yeah.
Yeah, like 5 people. I'll just
Next episode will be from Mariupol.
Yes.
Yeah,
Single
don't you remember we were going to aim at a Russian tank, run over, ask for photos of before, and then ask for photos of after.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
yes.
that's
from
right.
that's
And
from the
then
episode we recorded last week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and then we're gonna scream Russian T-72, go fuck yourself.
I love
Go around the
tow
corner with
missiles.
a Nova
I love tow
Feldzeug.
missiles. I love tow missiles.
Oh god. Hey, you said it right. Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
Jack.
Hey, we're getting better at this.
No, there's no we in this. There's Jack in this. Jack is getting better at this.
Oh.
Hell yeah, it's all the railings I'm doing.
Yes, sir. It steadies the mind.
Oh,
It's
I'm
Guys,
sure
you
it
need to
does.
show up to the Ukraine with a bunch of Panzerschrecks and Panzerfausts.
Well, I mean, technically, there are a bunch of Panzerfausts in the Ukraine right now.
That's horrible.
Panzerfaust
That's
3s.
scary.
Oh yeah, I mean, I mean World War II ones.
I guarantee you, if you took a fucking World War II Panzerfaust, like maybe not one from actual World War II, but remade to be one like a one-on-one replica, you could probably pop a few T-72s with it.
Oh, for sure. Doesn't take much.
Fucking Russian armor.
You might actually have. You might be onto something there. You might be. You know those armor penetration simulators on YouTube?
Yes.
Yes.
We need to get one of them to simulate a Panzerfaust 60 against the T-72.
Yes.
Dude. That would be tits.
Dude, we just need to get a Molotov cocktail and just add some soap shavings.
The fact that you know that is quite worrying to me. Like, we're actually getting the Ukrainians tank advice.
Come on, it's me. Nothing I say at this point should surprise you.
The first bonus episode is going to be sent to Ukraine, where we're going to instruct them on how to destroy T-72s. Like they need any instruction.
Honestly, they were there popping tops, no problem.
Yeah, they don't need us.
Usually
Love
we
it.
assemble tanks, and now we take them apart.
Yeah, exactly. I think we did a podcast, guys.
We did do a podcast.
We did.
Hell yeah.
Fucking
We did.
sure did.
We didn't do
And we
two.
didn't have any recording problems this time.
Thank
Oh,
God. Holy
do
shit.
not
Yes.
jinx it. Do not jinx it.
Shout out Zencaster.
Yeah, Craig Bot is definitely dead.
No.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
For real.
Goodbye, Craig. No one loved you. No one will love you.
Craig can die in a fucking hole.
Well, on that note, no one wants to say goodbye because we don't want this to go end.
Oh,
Yo, is
well,
that somebody's
What?
feet behind the Humvee?
Alright, I think it's time we end it before we start talking about feet.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jack. That was the best outro.
Thanks, Jack. We needed that.
Don't forget to all listeners, if you want to join the group build, you can message any one of us. We'll post all socials up wherever we post this atrocity. And yeah, Dennis.
Thank you, everyone, so much for listening. If you've come to this point, it was a real pleasure getting to make this podcast for you all,
Yes.
and we hope you enjoyed listening to it. You're an amazing audience. We'll be here all week. Alrighty, bye, everyone.
Wait, one last thing. Next
This is a
week,
recurring theme.
next week, if I can find a picture, I'm gonna be looking up hot tank feet pics.
No,
God.
End the podcast. Goodbye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
End it. Stop recording.